Hello there. Yorkie, Lord Yorkie York, the city gent here. You know, I may be a gentleman of pleasure these days, but I have had to work jobs in my past because nobody wants to hire someone by the name of Lord Yorkie York, so I went by the name of Stanley. And this is my parable, the Stanley parable, Ultra Deluxe.
This is the story of a man named Stanley.
Not my real name, but you understand. Sometimes
Stanley
a
worked
nom-de-guerre.
for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on the keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job.
It was a nice, easy job to follow.
Was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar
They
happened.
did.
Something that would forever change Stanley.
Yes.
Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow.
Where were the blasted
No one
orders?
showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened, this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office. All of his co-workers were gone.
It's
What did it
empty.
mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Yes, let's go to the meeting room. Good idea. Good idea. Where's the meeting room? Where's the meeting room? Do we know where the meeting room is?
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
This one. See? I did. Here's a meeting room.
Yet there was not a single person here either.
No.
Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
How to solve a dispute with a co-worker. Let it ball up inside you. Take it out passive-aggressively. Uncover the co-workers. Rent co-workers for not supporting you. Yes. Using slides to assure employees that everything is okay. Make sure your slide has a slick blue graphic in the header and throw some bevel under text. Yes. Everyone is unique. You most of all. I'm not unique. Well, I suppose I am. Just like everyone else. Now, my boss's office.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
Rich? Is it a crime? Commit crimes, isn't it rich? What a life it would be to have to pick just one. Time and extreme bathrooms. I think we've all needed an extreme bathroom now and then, haven't we?
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life.
Well,
Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What
What?
dark secret was being held from him?
was it the
What he
rapture?
could not have known was that the keypad behind the boss's desk guarded the terrible truth that his boss had been keeping from him. And
Oh,
so
look,
the
the
boss
keyboard.
had assigned it an extra secret PIN number, 2845.
Let me
But
just
of course,
check some.
Stanley couldn't possibly have known this.
I don't know what number it is. Maybe it's 6969. I know my boss. He's that kind of person.
Stanley just sat around twiddling his thumbs. Trying to input anything on the device was useless,
Twiddle,
since he
twiddle,
could never
twiddle.
possibly know.
It's very
if the
hard to type when you're
combination
twiddling your
was
thumbs.
2845.
1967. Maybe he made my birth year.
2845.
Maybe 1, 2, 3, 4. He's a simple person. Oh, 1, 3, 4, 5. There you are. Oh. 1, 2, 3, 4.
But it turns out that the panel's emergency override kicked in.
Oh, there
and
you
the
go.
door just opened all by itself. And Stanley got the hell along with the story. Well, whoop-de-doo.
Oh, look. A new door and a light. Oh, I'm drawn to the light. I'm a moth. No, I'm not a moth. What am I talking about? I'm a Stanley. I am Stanley. Not a Stanley. I'm Stanley. Right. Going down. Some people like it when I go down.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him? This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility.
Escape.
Although this passageway had the word escape written on it, the truth was that at the end of this hall, Stanley would meet his violent death.
Would I? Oh, that's a shame. I better not go that way then. Let's go back to the mind control place. It might put my mind at rest. At ease. I don't want it to be at rest. That's what's happening here.
But of course, Stanley thought better of it, and
Yes.
realized he simply had too much to live for.
Ooh, it's a light bulb. I've got an idea.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out?
Oh. Got a drawbridge. We've got lots of screens here.
Now the monitors jumped to life,
Oh.
their true nature revealed. Each bore
Numbers.
the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing.
You can't do anything with these, apparently. Way. Well, look at all these pretty screens. But nobody's there.
This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly?
Oh, look. Let's accept this blindly.
No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
I mean, I suppose it's possible. I do want a MAGA
Here's
hat.
the proof. The heart
I
of
don't,
the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working. All of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he would dismantle the controls once and for all.
I am the hero! I am the hero that we need! Well, maybe not, but I'm going to try to be. Can't read what's up there. Looks like computer code.
Oh, Stanley, you didn't just activate the controls, did you? After they kept you enslaved all these years, you go and you try to take control of the machine for yourself. Is that what you wanted? Control?
Yes!
Oh, Stanley, I applaud your effort, I really do. But you need to understand, there's only so much that machine can do.
Oh?
You were supposed to let it go. Turn the controls off and leave.
Really?
If you want to throw my story off track, you're going to have to do much better than that. I'm afraid you don't have nearly the power you think you do. For example, and I believe you'll find this pertinent, Stanley suddenly realized he had just initiated the network's emergency detonation system.
Yeah.
In the event that this machine is activated without proper DNA identification, nuclear detonators are set to explode, eliminating the entire complex. How
Oh, dear
long
Lord.
until detonation then? Let's say, 2 minutes. Ah, now this is making things a little more fun, isn't it, Stanley? It's your time to shine. You are the star. It's your story now. Shape
No,
it to
I'm
your
sorry, I
heart's
can't do it.
desires. Oh, this is much better than what I had in mind. What a shame we have so little time left to enjoy it. Mere moments until the bomb goes off. But
I'm going to have to try and disarm it.
each one of them is. More time to talk about you, about me.
I did try to put my head between my legs and kiss my
What all
ass
this
goodbye.
means, I barely know where to start. What's that? You'd like to know where your co-workers are? A moment of solace before you're obliterated? All right, I'm in a good mood. You're gonna die anyway. I'll tell you exactly what happened to them. I erased them. I turned off the machine. I set you free. Of course, that was merely in this instance of the story. Sometimes when I tell it, I simply let you sit there in your office forever, pushing buttons endlessly and then dying alone. Other times, I let the office sink into the ground, swallowing everyone inside, or I let it burn to a crisp. I have to say this, though, this version of events has been rather amusing. Watching you try to make sense of everything and take back the control wrested away from you is quite rich. I almost hate to see it go. But I'm sure whatever I come up with on the next go-around will be even better. My goodness, only 34 seconds left. But I'm enjoying this so much. You know what? To hell with it. I'm going to put some extra time on the clock. Why not? These are precious additional seconds, Stanley. Time doesn't grow on trees. Oh dear me, what's the matter, Stanley? Is it that you have no idea where you're going or what you're supposed to be doing right now?
Or something like that,
Just
yes.
assume when you saw that timer that something in this room was capable of turning it off. I mean, look at you. Running from button to button, screen to screen, clicking on every little thing in this room. These numbered buttons, no, these colored ones, or maybe this big red button, or this door. Everything, anything, something here will save me. Why would you think that, Stanley? That this video game can be beaten? Won? Solved? Do you have any idea what your purpose in this place is?
Yeah. Pressing buttons, I think.
You're in for quite a disappointment. But here's a spoiler for you. That timer isn't a catalyst to keep the action moving along. It's just seconds ticking away to your death. You're only still playing instead of watching a cutscene because I want to watch you for every moment that you're powerless. To see you made humble. This is not a challenge. It's a tragedy. You wanted to control this world, that's fine. But I'm going to destroy it first, so you can't. Take a look at the clock, Stanley. That's 30 seconds you have left to struggle.
Well, if that's all it's like, we might as well.
No ending.
Anyone got to fiddle? We can fiddle while Rome burns.
Cling desperately to your frail life, or will you let it go peacefully? Another choice. Make it count, or don't. It's all the same to me, all a part of the joke. And believe me, I will be laughing at every second of your inevitable life from the moment we fade in until the
3,
moment I say,
2, 1, here we go. There we go. We're dead. I think. See, we should have suspected something when our number was 427 because that adds 13. See? And now, here again.
all of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Did we go to the meeting room? Is that what we actually did? That's the question. Or did we try every door along the way? And find them all locked, so there's no point in doing anything else. Well, that might be what we did. And then we saw the two doors, and
When Stanley came to a set
we
of
went
two
this way.
open doors, this was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it.
Maybe. Look, there's the employee lounge.
Yes, truly a room worth admiring. But eager to get back to business, Stanley took the first open door on his left.
Did I? I don't think I did, actually. I think I carried on. Just running around
Stanley
like a
was
blue
so
ass
bad at
fly.
following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. But in his eagerness to prove that he is in control of the story and no one gets to tell him what to do, Stanley leapt from the platform and plunged to his death.
Well, that's a shame. I
Good
thought
job,
I might be able to
Stanley.
fly.
Everyone thinks you are very powerful.
Good. See? Power to the people. Especially these people.
All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Yes, maybe I needed to read all the memos. Why don't we do that? All those lovely slides. Slides are very informative, you know.
When Stanley came to a set of two open doors, he entered the door on his left.
Slides are very informative.
Yet there was not a single person here either. Feeling a wave of disbelief, Stanley decided to go up to his boss's office, hoping he might find an answer there.
All right. Well, we're in the middle of this, so we've seen that one. Using slides to assure employees that everything is okay. Yes. I'm a productive work environment. Everyone is unique. You most of all. Number of slides on this slide. Charts and slides. Oh, very informative, that one. Rate at which charts on the same slide depict the same information. Charts, numbers, ratios, etc. The rate of increase of the graphics of the slide. Okay. We're going faster and faster now. Please no more charts. The boss appreciation minute. On your boss appreciation minute worksheet, circle the top 20 things you love most about your boss. It's close to death. That's a good one. Solving interpersonal conflict. If you ever find yourself in a conflict with another diligent employee like yourself, but more inclined towards conflict, what are your dreams for the future? I don't have dreams. I have nightmares. For not getting fired. Oh, we're circling round now. See? Circling deliciously around. Alright. To do, synergize core value expenditures. Shift global market parody. Trade, whatever. Paradise? Who knows? Monetize free to play. All free to play should be monetized. So apparently should AAA games. Get Chris out of the broom closet. Push for funding R&D of new coffee machine. Okay. Alright then. Broom closet. It said someone was in here, didn't it? Oh.
Stanley stepped into the broom closet, but there was nothing here, so he turned around and got back on track.
Can we clean? Looks like the place needs a bit of a clean.
There was nothing here. No choice to make, no path to follow. Just an empty broom closet. No reason to
that's
still
fine,
be
empty.
here.
I could do with those tools, I think, and the tapes. If duct tape doesn't fix it, you use WD-40.
Baffling that Stanley was still just sitting in the broom closet. He wasn't even doing anything. At least if there was something to interact with, he'd be justified in some way. As it is, he's literally just standing there doing sweet FA.
Well, at least I can get away from all those missing people. Maybe they're ghosts, you know. Maybe they are ghosts.
Are you really still in the broom closet?
Yes.
Standing around doing nothing?
Well, I'm stepping back and
Please
forth.
offer me some explanation here. I'm genuinely confused.
Me too.
You do realize there's no choice or anything in here, right?
Well,
If
there
I'd
are
said
things.
Stanley walked past the broom closet, at least you would have had a reason for exploring it to find out. But it didn't even occur to me because literally this closet is of absolutely no significance to the story whatsoever.
Really? Well, isn't that
I never would
interesting?
have thought to mention it.
See, that makes it even more interesting to me.
Maybe to you this is somehow its own branching path. Maybe when you go talk about this with your friend, you'll say, "Oh, did you get the broom closet ending? The broom closet ending was my favourite." I hope your friends find this concerning.
Oh, is that wire? I could do with some of that.
Stanley was fat and ugly and really, really stupid.
Well,
He
that's
probably
true,
only got
I
the
admit.
job because of a family connection. That's
Yeah,
how stupid he is.
that's probably.
That or with drug money. Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
I wouldn't say addicted. I can give it up any time I want. I mean,
Well, I've come to a very definite conclusion about what's going on right now. You're dead. You got to this broom closet, explored it a bit, and were just about
I'm
to
dead?
leave because there's nothing here, when a physical malady of some sort shut down your central nervous system and you collapsed on the keyboard.
I'm dead.
Well, in a situation like this, the responsible thing is to alert someone nearby so as to ensure that your body is taken care of before it begins to decompose.
Okay, go ahead.
Hello? Anyone who happens to be nearby? The person at this computer is dead. They have fallen prey to any number of your countless human physiological vulnerabilities. It's indicative of the long-term sustainability of your species. Please remove their corpse from the area and instruct another human to take their place, making sure they understand basic first-person video game mechanics and filling them in on the history of narrative tropes in video gaming, so that the irony and insightful commentary of this game is not lost on them. All right, when you've done that, just step out into the hallway.
I wonder what these notices are. It'd be good if I could read them, but I can't. Maybe I am too stupid to read English. I mean, that could be, I suppose. So. What else? Wall here. There's wires running to, but there's nothing here. I'm curious. Curiouser and curiouser. This must be a very important room. Must be the most important room there is. Oh. Look, there's a mop bucket, but no mop. There's a broom, but that's not a mop. What are we meant to do with that? And what is this hosing on the floor? I'm not sure. I wonder. Interesting. That tool, that wrench looks like it's golden. Maybe copper. Maybe copper. That looks like plain iron, and that looks like silver. Are they representative of something, I wonder?
Ah, second player. It's good to have you too. Unbelievable. I'm at the mercy of an entire species of invalids.
Well, there was no one
Perhaps
out
there's
there.
a monkey nearby you can hand the controls to. A fish? Fungus? Look, you can hammer out the details. I'm not particularly picky. I'll just be waiting for when you're ready to pick up the story again.
There's something above the tall shelf, too. Let's have another look out here. That better?
Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked
Oh, it should be
upstairs to
anyway.
his boss's office.
Nothing in here. Let's see what's this.
But Stanley just couldn't do it. He considered the possibility of facing his boss. Admitting he had left his post during work hours, he might be fired for that. And in such a competitive economy, why had he taken that risk? All because he believed everyone had vanished? His boss would think he was crazy. And then something occurred to Stanley. Maybe, he thought to himself, maybe I am crazy. All of my co-workers blinking mysteriously out of existence in a single moment for no reason at all.
Well,
None of it made any logical
I
sense.
have often told my wife
And
I'm
as
crazy
Stanley
for you.
pondered this, he began to make other strange observations. For example, why couldn't he see his feet when he looked down? Why did doors close automatically behind him wherever he went? And for that matter, these rooms were starting to look pretty familiar.
Just a
Were they
little
simply
bit.
repeating? No, Stanley said to himself, this is all too strange. This can't be real. And at last, he came to the conclusion that had been on the tip of his tongue. He just hadn't found the words for it. I'm dreaming, he yelled. This is all a dream. Oh, what a relief.
I
Stanley
hope so,
felt
because to the
to have
garage, there's
finally
nowhere to
found
go.
An answer, an explanation. His co-workers weren't actually gone. He wasn't going to lose his job. He wasn't crazy after all. And he thought to himself, I suppose I'll wake up soon. I'll have to go back to my boring real-life job pushing buttons. I may as well enjoy this while I'm still lucid. So, he imagined himself flying and began to gently float above the ground. Then he imagined himself soaring through space on a magical starfield, and it too appeared. It was so much fun, and Stanley marveled that he had still not woken up. How was he remaining so lucid? And then perhaps the strangest question of them all entered Stanley's head. One he was amazed he hadn't asked himself sooner. Why is there a voice in my head dictating everything that I'm doing and thinking? Now
Doesn't everyone have a voice in their head?
Itself being considered by Stanley, who found it particularly strange. I'm dreaming about a voice describing me, thinking about how it's describing my thoughts, he thought.
Look, a motivational poster with no motivation.
Very odd, and wondered if this voice spoke to all people in their dreams. The truth was that, of course, this was not a dream. How could it be? Was Stanley simply deceiving himself? Believing that if he's asleep, he doesn't have to take responsibility for himself? Stanley is as awake right now as he's ever been in his life. Now, hearing the voice
Have I ever been awake?
was quite a shock to Stanley. After all, he knew for certain, beyond a doubt, that this was in fact a dream. Did the voice not see him float and make the magical stars just a moment ago? How else would the voice explain all that? This voice was a part of himself too. Surely, if he could just... He would prove it. He would prove that he was in control, that this was a dream. So he closed his eyes gently, and he invited himself to wake up.
Wake up, Stanley!
The cool weight of the blanket on his skin, the press of the mattress on his back, the fresh air of a world outside this one. Let me wake up, he thought to himself. I'm through with this dream. I wish it to be over. Let me go back to my job. Let me continue pushing the buttons. Please, it's all I want.
Yes.
I want my apartment, and my wife, and my job.
Many have told me I'm good at
All I
pushing
want is
buttons.
my life exactly the way it's always been. My life.
My wife
is
tells me I'm
normal.
always pushing her buttons.
I am normal. Everything will be fine. I am okay.
You are see? Ah!
Stanley began screaming.
Ah! I did.
Please, someone wake me up. My name is Stanley. I have a boss. I have an office. I am real. Please, just someone tell me I am real. I must be
Maybe
real.
I'm not
I must
real.
be. Can anyone hear my voice? Who am I? Who am I? And everything went black.
Eek!
This is the story of a woman named Mariella.
Mariella now.
Mariella woke up on a day like any other. She arose, got dressed, gathered her belongings, and walked to her place of work.
Oh dear Lord,
But
look
on
at
this
that.
particular day, her walk was interrupted.
By the body of a man. Well, we will pick up there next time if we can, if you're interested in it. Let me know in the comments, and I shall see you then. Bye now.